And this purpose of life must not be drowned into various engagements with matter. We must remember, if God says, I have no time for you, and stop sticking in your heart, all your engagements have to be cancelled immediately. Or one of the great sayings in India is, he is the cleverest who finds God. He is the cleverest who gives time to find God. He is the cleverest who finds that supreme happiness within. And he who can stand unshaken amidst the crash of breaking worlds. He whose peace, the riches of peace, cannot be taken away by all the robbers of circumstances and trials. So in this spiritual family, you all remind me by your actions of one whom millions forget. And that's why they suffer. I remember one day I was in the movies. Movies have one fascination because I see the whole world as movies. I was in the booth and I saw the operator was reading a novel. And I saw this automatic machine was going on and the beam was causing on the screen a terrible horror picture. And I said, Lord, how is it? I have the whole show of the universe in front of me. You are this operator who is thinking of new plays. And your nature is throwing this beam in the sky. And I see the hero and the villain are nothing but pictures. Nobody is killed. Many were being killed and shot in this picture. But I saw from the booth, it was the light that had created the villain. And the light had created the hero. And a voice said, remember, the villain is created so that you don't become the villain, but that you love the hero. If you become the villain, your throat has to be cut. And now you see that there is no villain, no hero. They are both pictures of my beam. After getting away from the villain and evil, or tasting poisoned honey, taste the honey of goodness and then come into the beam. And you will realize that all this world which you see of terrible wars and troubles is nothing but a picture show, cosmic motion picture show in the sky. You will be surprised. You never analyze that as soon as you sleep and dream, you can create a world like this. With people suffering from cancer and disease and wars and some smiling babies born, old men dying. Then when you wake up, you see that all those things were made of your dream consciousness. So remember, this is the same, nothing different. And until you find that out, this world is a terrible show. I said to God, as He was talking to me, but Lord, look at the audience. They are howling and screeching downstairs at this horror show. I see that it's nothing but pictures and light, because I see the invisible beam. There are no murders in the beam, no heroes, not villains in the beam. But Lord, what about the audience? They don't know. Then the voice said, tell them all to look at my beam within, and they will realize that this show was given to entertain them, not to get mixed up with it. That's why, remember, every night He makes you a God. Every night He withdraws you from this cosmic movie and makes you realize you are the Son of God. You are made in His image. You cannot be violated or hurt by stones, nor bombs, nor machine guns, nor atomic bombs. Remember, the best shelter is in the silence of your soul. And if you can develop that silence, nothing in the world Nothing in the world can touch you. And you can say, Jang labdha chaparang labham mannate nadikam tata. Having which no other gain becomes greater. Then you can stand unshaken amidst the crush of breaking world. Then you are not in any way touched by cold and heat, pleasure and pain. But as soon as you are touched by these, you are with the movie. So I realize this world with terrible wars and troubles. When I see the injustices, I cannot uphold the Father. But when I see that light dancing around me, this is the picture show, then I say glory to the Father. So remember, on one little piece of thought is the whole universe resting, and when we rub off that thought at night, the whole universe tumbles away. You do not realize that the ocean is present in every drop, and that great power of God is present in every heart. And I do hope that in your kindness to me, you remember this that I told you. Do not get mixed up with this movie, this terrible movie of God. There is one purpose, to get to the beam. Get away from the villain and villainous action and poisoned honey of evil. Drink with the hero the good honey of virtue, then get to the beam. Then you will suddenly realize it was only a show. History has no meaning for me, for God can revive the past in the present and the present in the future. There is no time nor space, everything is happening in your own thought. If you realize that, you will realize the infiniteness of God, and the kindness of God, and the love of God. He has one thing in mind. He has thrown out from his beam the villain and the good, and he wants to bring them back and make them one with the beam. Thank you, all those that have come from far off, and St. Lin and all the disciples of the order. Thank you for all your kindness, and remember this, that with the love of God I love you all, and my life is very little that I can give to you. If you would love him who has sent me. And your kindness reminds me one thing. It doesn't inflate me with pride, though I am very proud of you all. It makes me feel the love of him who loves us all. It's he. It's the divine mother of the universe. He is the mother, he is the father. Love the father behind the father, mother behind the mother, friend behind the friend, only one friend behind all our friends. So remember, one little story I shall tell you. There was a great saint. His name was Vyasa. He was the writer of the Bhagavad Gita, the Hindu Bible. And he was sitting by the river Jamuna. And the disciples of Krishna, the greatest prophet of India, they were carrying some cheese. Krishna loved cottage cheese, but he lived on the other side of the river Jamuna. And Jamuna was in flood and all the boats were sunk. So they very much felt for their master, and they saw Vyasa was in samadhi, he was in ecstasy with God. And they sat around Vyasa, and Vyasa woke up and he said, "What can I do for you?" They said, "Krishna is on the other side and we want to get this cheese to him. The master has not eaten and the Jamuna is flooded. We have no boats. Could you tell some way how we can get there?" He said, Well, you think of Krishna, what about me? I have to eat something." Vyasa was also a great student of Krishna. They couldn't understand how he dared to eat before the master. He says, yes, without myself eating something, I can't do anything. So he ate all the cheese that he could. Then he stands by the river and says, "O river Jamuna, if I have not eaten anything, divide upon part." Jamuna parted. Then the students of Krishna said, he ate the cheese in front of us and says, "Jamuna, if I didn't eat anything, divide upon part." And the Jamuna obeyed. They couldn't understand. They hurriedly passed through. And when they went on the other side and near the camp of Krishna, Krishna used to always in greatest joy meet them. He was sound asleep and his little tummy seemed to be filled. So they woke him up and said, Master, your cheese is here." Oh, he got up and half sleeping. "The Master, aren't you interested in cheese today?" "Oh no," he said. "The other fellow sitting on the other side of the river fed me too much." He didn't know when he was eating, he was only giving it to Krishna. So he who has given us this joy, think of him. Whatever you do, give it to him. Do that. And you will find him all the time with you. "Yo mang pashyati sarvatro, sarvancho moi pashyate, aham tang na punashyami, sachame na punashyati." He who watcheth me always, I watch him always. To the flowers and the stars and human beings, he never loses sight of me, nor I lose sight of him. Thank you for this very wonderful birthday in your heart and in our Father, Mother, and